Spend any amount of time carp fishing, you are going to get into making your own hook baits without a doubt. And once you start, there is no end to it because there are so many combinations that you can use. Now, if you're going to make your own pop-ups, that is the mix to use, the Polaris. You just mix it with eggs, just like a normal boilie mix. Chuck it in, roll it into balls, chuck it into the water, and it floats straight away. Just boil it for a minute, and you've got perfect pop-ups, and they smell exactly the same as the flavour that you're putting in them. And one little tip with this, you can use like a 1 egg mix, or what I do is I just use the egg whites. So I use 2 egg whites rather than 1 full egg. And egg whites congeal quicker than a full egg will, so you don't have to boil them as longer. So rather than boiling it for a minute to make a hard boilie, you only have to boil them for 45 seconds. So just get rid of the egg yolk, use 2 whites, and then put the flavour into that. And flavours, well, the list of combinations is longer than my arm. You know, there are so many that you can choose from. I've just picked out a few classics for you. That's probably the most classic one of all time, pineapple juice. That's caught hundreds or thousands of carp all around the world. And what I do is I combine it with that one, with tangerine juice as well. And what I tend to do, I use more of the less powerful flavour. So the pineapple's a less powerful smell than the tangerine juice. So just to a 1 egg or 2 egg white mix, I'll use 4 ml of that and 2 ml of that. Now if you put that much flavour just into a 1 egg mix, remember the fish are not eating these baits, they're hook baits. By the time they taste the full flavour, you've hooked them. But even so, you don't want them to be really bitter. So if you add a bit of sweet aid to it, that's like a really nice round tasting sweetener. You could use that just as a flavour on its own. A couple of ml of that in with the 6 ml of flavour, and that will give it a nice round taste. So when the fish picks it up, it doesn't spit it back out again because it's so harsh. A couple of the other real classics, sweet plum. That's one that used to catch loads and loads of fish, and hardly anybody uses that anymore for some crazy reason. That was one of the best ones I ever used when I first started making my own baits. And then a more recent one, Frutella. That smells like the sweets that you get in the shop. Absolutely superb. And then moving over to the other side, let's have a look. That's another one of the aids that actually triggers feeding as well as gives you the smell and taste. That peach aid with Scopex, that's a fantastic combination as well. And you can keep to the same thing. 4 of that, 2 of that, because that's a little bit more powerful flavour. 6 ml to 1 egg is more than enough. And then lastly, but by no means least, blackcurrant with Scopex as well. That's one of Frank Warwick's favourites. And I got into doing this stuff because I was fishing with Frank Warwick and he was out catching me 5 to 1 on his own little special hook baits. And every time I go fishing with him, he's got bags and bags and bags of them, like about 10 different bags of hook baits. And when you get into doing this, I'm sure you'll be the same. Colour wise, there's loads in the range. They're my 2 favourites, orange and yellow. They just seem to get more bites than anything else. But there's dark colours as well, and sometimes if everyone's using very bright pop-ups, try using really dark ones with the same flavours in them, but dark ones. So these are my own specials, and I've put those ones in. That's a weird old smell. That's like a fishy flavour with pineapple in it as well. So you don't have to go with what you think is right. Combine 2 that are completely different and see how they work. And then the next one, these are my own pineapple ones, with a little bit of tangy flavour in as well, so they're really, really citrusy. And if you've had them for a while, once I've boiled them, I dry them out for a couple of days, and once that initial moisture's gone out of the bait, they won't go off at all. And don't be afraid to put a couple more drops of flavour on every now and again, just to boost them up, and they'll just draw into that porous mix, and they'll smell brand new again. So they are lovely. And another really good little tip, right? They're the same. They're pineapple with a tangy flavour in there as well to give them a real citrusy smell, but they're bottom baits. So I've made these with just a 50-50 base mix, and they just sink just like any other bait. Everybody seems to use high-vis, high-attract pop-ups. These are high-vis, high-attract bottom baits, because if fish are swimming around and every single one that's off the bottom has got something wrong with it, the fish can be wary of it. So if the others have been used to death, try a bottom bait. Very few people take the effort to do a 1 egg mix of bottom baits, and they've caught me a hell of a lot of fish. Now if you can't be bothered to make your own, there are loads in the high-vis range that Mainline do. That's the Frutella. Pink's a really, really good colour, one of Frank's favourites as well. And there's loads of others in the range. There's loads of flavours as well, and it's only limited by your own imagination. Certain lakes respond to different flavours, so just keep trying, you'll find one that is better than anything else. Well, that's it for boilies. One last tip, days like today when it's really high pressure, Sky Lake's quite deep, I'm going to start fishing hook links about that long, popped up off the bottom. So I'll use one of these high-vis pop-ups and I'll shave a little bit off it so it's a tiny, tiny little bait, and you can snare some fish that are just drifting around, enjoying the sun when a bottom bait won't work. What we're going to have a look at now is particles, because I use particles all the time in my fishing. You see, I've always spodding in the TV shows. We're going to show you the spod mixes and show you different particles and how to put them together, and also show you some pellets as well. And then after that, we're going to go on to PVA and method feeders.